Hey everyone, today I am going to show you a tool of continuous integration, and the name of the tool is Jenkins. Okay, uh, as you have already seen that my environment is Windows, so I have some intentions in my mind, like what will I do with Jenkins and how you will give me output, and what will I do with that output, and what will be my end goals. Okay, this is a very clear declaration, like that whenever you are going to work with Jenkins, you have to keep in mind what you are doing, what you will do next. Otherwise this is very possible for a human being to get lost with the lot of options that Jenkins is going to provide us actually. So what I'm going to show you is how Jenkins can be set up and how it can be configured. But keep in mind that this is not the only one way. You can set up Jenkins in various ways. You can configure it in various ways depending on your environment, what you are going to host, what you are going to do, or what is your project actually. For my case, my intentions are pretty much simple, and pretty much simpler, because I'm going to deal with Windows, and it's a desktop application. In case of desktop application, my purpose is to build that application by Jenkins, pulling the code from GitHub repository, and then somewhat I will test it, and definitely that will be automatic test, and upon the test result my build can be passed or be failed. Okay, so for the simplicity purpose, I have created a calculator project which will actually show you calculator, and it will let you calculate some digits like 1 plus 1, that can be 2, 2 plus 2, that can be 4, some um, that's a pretty much a calculator, but not that high end because it is a test purpose. And for your information, the source code belongs to Microsoft, and I have just downloaded this. So, and my purpose of download is to just demonstrate this video, nothing else. So first of all, I have to show you how Jenkins is going to match with the project. Actually, my purpose, I have already told you that my source code will be pushed to Git repository, and I have, for example, 5 developers, and those are working on that calculator project. Some of one when will push from local master to master branch of the GitHub, then somehow GitHub will notify Jenkins, or Jenkins will be notified automatically, and then Jenkins will initiate a build for my project. Whenever the build process is done, but I would like to test my application, and for the testing purpose of my application, I have used TestComplete 10.50. Then when build is done but testing is not done, then TestComplete will take control from Jenkins and check whether my calculator is running properly or not based on a particular use case. My use case is pretty simple. I will clear off predefined result of my calculator project, and I will type, say for example, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and verify that. If it passes, that means if 2 plus 2, 4 returns 4, then my build will be considered as passed, and Jenkins will publish my build result as passed. So for that purpose, I have already created my project, and I have already created my Git environment. So Git environment, creating Git environment is not part of this thing or this video. So for that purpose, you can see this is the GitHub for Windows actually. Now I am going to get there. this is the GitHub and this is my project. Okay, for the simplicity purpose I'm just changing this, like it has already changed. I'm just typing here like change again, save it. Now whenever I will open this, I have seen that there is an uncommitted change, so I'm just committing it to local master. Okay, I have committed that thing on the local master. Now what I have to do is to sync with the GitHub. For that reason, as I have already told you that guys, I am using TestComplete 10.50 with Jenkins, then I have an issue how TestComplete is going to run as an interactive mode, because without interactive mode, Windows TestComplete will not be able to access Windows UI elements. So for that thing, you have to keep in mind that whenever you are using any automation tool which are dealing with Windows elements, UI elements, then you have to run Jenkins as a standalone app, not as a service. Definitely, if you don't need that thing, particularly like Cucumber, in Cucumber you don't need to be running on the interactive mode, and this interactive mode can never be used as with the TestComplete. So for that purpose, I have to check this thing with my other things. So I'm going to run Jenkins as an interactive mode. To do this, what I have to do, I have to run Jenkins as a standalone app rather than a service. So for that reason, I have to go to command prompt and then to Jenkins home directory. In my case, that is this one, that means program files 86, then cd Jenkins, and then I have to, as you know, Jenkins is a Java application, so I have to run typical Java command -jar jenkins.war. So this command will start Jenkins as a standalone app. You see it's starting, it's loading jobs, and at the last you can see that Jenkins is fully up and running. Now we have to open this browser and type localhost 8080. Okay guys, for my case it is 8080, but it is not always true that your port is should be 8080, because 8080 may be used by another application, so you have to change that port number. And how do you change that is not part of this video. You can easily change that, so that's really not a big deal. Okay, as you can see, there is already 2 jobs predefined, and this is the job that I'm going to show you today. Is already been pre-configured. So what are the elements of Jenkins? So you can see that there is a new item, and this is build history, and the people who are checking in, who is initiating the builds, and this is the manage Jenkins part, and this is the credentials part. For today's, I am considering that I am initiating build anonymously, but definitely that should not be the standard way. You have to have configuring the people section who can initiate the build, who can make those changes, etc, etc. For our purpose, we will just tap on the manage Jenkins sections. So you can see there are lots of options over here. So here I am today going to deal with configure system and manage manage plugins. So whenever we are going to deal with the manage plugin section, we have to tap this tab, and we have to check the install tab also, because we need to know what plugins has already been installed and what are still left to install. So what plugins do we need actually? For this answer, actually we have to define our project first. If it's a Windows project and it's a Windows environment, then you need some plugins, those are related to your project, and you need some R&D for that purpose. What plugins can be appropriate for your project, and this R&D might not take long, because Jenkins community is pretty much stronger. So whenever you search Google, I hope you will get that. Now in the install plugins section, you can see that there are some plugins that I have installed, as I am using Windows project. So I have used some plugins with Git. So Git client plugin, Git plugin, GitHub API plugin, then GitHub plugin, and with this I have used MS Build plugin, and some security plugin with SCM API plugin. And for the versioning of our project, I have used version number plugin, and for the email extension, I have used email extension plugin, because whenever a bill will be passed or failed, you need to send a notification to the bill master, and there's the plugin that can do this. And Git is the default plugin which will handle all the Git request and pull request, whatever you are calling this. Okay, so these are the plugins that you need, and these plugins cannot be described individually, that will take too much time. So if you go to Jenkins again, this is the dashboard of Jenkins. So tapping on the manage section, now configuring Jenkins. This is the most important part of our video, because here you are doing your all kinds of business. So base directory is very important, because the value of this directory has already been set out, and this is if you are very advanced mode, that means you can do whatever you like to do and you know everything, then you can change this directory. Otherwise it is recommended that you probably left it as it is. Now you have to consider the source module, as I am using Git. So source module contains the Git name. You can give it anything, but more importantly, whenever you are installing your Windows GitHub, so you need to give the git.exe file path over here. And as I have used MS Build, so MS Build, I have to give the path to MS Build over here. This path is pretty much similar for everyone. I think if you are using .NET 4.5, then C, Windows, Microsoft .NET, and framework 64-bit and version of that framework, and then MS Build. Actually this is 4.0 in my case. So whatever framework you have and you are willing to use that framework, if your project use that framework, then you should put it here. One thing about Git, if the path of the Git is not included with your path, then you have to include this path of the exe of Git to the path variable, which can be accessed with the control panel, system and security, then advanced environment variables, and select the path and added your git.exe path to that path and just press OK. That will do that. Otherwise Git will give error and you will not be able to run your build. So I think no more things to show over here. There are a lot of options. You have to explore the options by manually, and what only your need basis. Like if you would like to set up an SMTP server for email notification, you can do that over here, and whenever you will feel problem, you can just press over there. You will get the tips. If the tips fails to answer your question, then you definitely move to Google, and Google is here to answer you. And Jenkins community, I am again saying Jenkins community is very strong, so I do hope that you will be able to get your answer. So upon finishing those things, you just save and quit from this portion of configuration. Whenever you are going to deal with Jenkins, so you will need a new job. In my case, I have already created this job, but when you are going to create a new item, just give the job name of the job. And definitely I am talking about a freestyle project, not multi-configuration project now. So for the freestyle project, you will select that one and press OK. So upon pressing OK, what you will get, that is probably like this one, that is coming like this one. This will be the next. Upon pressing the OK button, you will get landed over here. This is the project name that you have given, and this is the Git project, and this is the GitHub source control with the credentials and your project URL. So this one is the build triggering option. There are various kinds of build triggering options. Someone may want that if any developer commits into GitHub, automatically Jenkins will start to trigger a build, but that might not be the exact wish for everyone, and I may want that only after 1 hour I would like to get the build. Then in that case I have to use the poll SCM, and this is the cron job, and we do, at least I do expect that you know what is cron job is, and how it can be configured. So how it can be configured, that can be answered by this. So you can if you just go through this, you can understand that very well, and that will be fairly well. I do believe this. Now this is the build environment. In this section you will create your build number along with any other text you would like to use. Like if you have generally build number contains like major dot minor dot revision. So in that case, if you want to go with this, you may go with this, or if you like to place like version and the number of the build, you can keep it like this. So whatever your wish is, you can define over here, but with a particular syntax, and the syntax can be found over here, and this is pretty much elaborated and self-explanatory, so I don't need to explain it manually. And this is the build. So which build is going to be used for building this project? As I have already told you that I am using a Windows project, so definitely that should be a MS build. And this is the variable, this is the workspace variable that will contain the rest of the names, and the rest of the names means the rest of the names of the home directory, Jenkins home directory. And this is the solution path file that needs to be built, and the command line arguments should be any CPU and the release build. So there is nothing to explain. In that case, whenever you have a build job, you can always add a build step, so that you have to adding a build step might cost you a little bit, because you have to manually rearrange this build step according to your need. So in my case, I have to rearrange it this batch command before this batch command, and for that reason I have put it over here. And here we are actually transferring our Jenkins control to TestComplete 10 control. You can see that this is a project file which has been recorded by TestComplete itself, and then TestComplete execute that project file, and this is the name of the test which is going to be used here. And upon finishing the test, TestComplete export the log of the test result to this directory. And upon finishing the build, I am just publishing my build into the artifacts directory under the release folder, and I am also publishing the test result, which is the test which is going to be provided by TestComplete itself. So for this I have added a post build action. So whenever you will feel that you need a post build action, just do it. But again, I am telling you, my friends, that what is your need can only drive you to that particular goal. You have to be very clear what you want to do and what is your purpose. Only by deciding this thing you can deal with Jenkins. Otherwise, this will be very tough call for you. So just press the save button. That will save your changes. Now if you just go back to Jenkins, just I have to, probably I have changed something, so I have to leave this page without saving anything. Now you see, whenever I will push this thing with the Git repository, the magic will trigger. So waiting for the commit, and GitHub is syncing with our local master branch. Whenever the sync will be completed, then we can see, okay, sync has been completed. We will see that after some time, within a minute actually, this build will be triggered, and auto refresh has been enabled. So we need to wait a little bit, because as I have said, the build initialization time for a minute, so it might take 1 minute. Upon checking, we are waiting for this. Whenever this icon will start to blink, you will find that, yeah, this is blinking. So you will find that something is going on, and you will get a bar, that means which will indicate the status. Yeah, that is the status, and this is the test complete. We have already previously recorded all these actions by this test complete. This is the calculator actually, and this is the result published by the test complete, and it is closing by itself. And build is publishing via the artifact directory, and you see the build has been done. So whenever you will click on this link, you will see that this is the calculator.exe that has been built, and this is the log for the test cases. So if you just press this log, you will find that this thing has been opened with IE, and this is actually telling you the test result. So this is actually how we are building our application with Jenkins with the help of TestComplete as an automation tool. So whole through the process, what we have done, actually I have built a project which is actually a calculator project, then push that all my changes to local master. From there I have synced all my codes with the GitHub. Whenever my code goes to GitHub, Jenkins can trigger a build and GitHub will notify Jenkins that something is changed, and upon that notification GitHub Jenkins has started the build. Whenever the build will be finished, then Jenkins will transfer the control to TestComplete rather than publishing the test results, because TestComplete is the guy who will test all the things and transfer the controls to Jenkins for publishing that result. So in a very close summary, what we can say that our project has been pushed to GitHub repository and GitHub acknowledged Jenkins, something has been changed. Jenkins start the build based on these changes, and whenever he will build that exe, TestComplete will run that exe and TestComplete will check for a particular use case which has already been defined when the TestComplete was recording those tests. Upon checking that exe, if TestComplete finds that everything is right and everything is as far as it is by the use cases or by the use case, then it will start to transfer the control to Jenkins with the log, that is this thing what it has found while in the testing environment. And Jenkins take this log and publish the whole build result in the artifacts directory and thereby in this page. So this is actually what Jenkins do with the TestComplete. Now you guys might asking me that how TestComplete is accessing my project. Well guys, whenever I'm building this project, actually I have already set up a test case, and based on that test case I'm recording my test with the TestComplete, and that is a separate project, and that separate project has been pointed to Jenkins for automation purpose and for the transferring of the control from Jenkins to TestComplete. So you may see that whenever TestComplete will fail, as a result whole build will be failed. So testing is very much important, and CI is the core concept of this testing actually. So this is all about Jenkins in a nutshell. So you can increase its capacity according to your needs. What will you need, you will increase for that. What will you do, you will do it, but keep in mind that you are very clear what you are doing. So that's it from me. Thank you.